Hello, hello. This is another video, bar Frontline video. This is a special video because I played with the Winter Gaming, yes, and he actually made his own video about this exact same game from the perspective of the eco player, but I want to show you the perspective of the Frontline instead, because he didn't have to make units for most of the game, and he comes in at the exact perfect time for me because I actually make a mistake, and if he wasn't there, or if he wasn't ready to counterattack, that fight would have snowballed and probably would have killed me. So let's just start. So I also make a small mistake at the start, but it works out in my favor because the wind was good. But I didn't realize this is actually a really low wind map. I just kind of forgot. I was just doing my solar collector into windmills, just opening. So also, I just want to talk about when you're collecting your mexes. I like to get the mexes first, unless they're really close together, because if there's a little bit of walking time, you can get the third mex without stalling at all. But if they're all next to each other, they will stall. So if they're further away, like I had to start right over here, I can get these two and then just immediately get the third one. And then go solar, which means I don't have to use any energy because these things cost 500 energy each. Okay, so I'll just a quick thing. So like, you aim for 60 energy to get this. I kind of forgot didn't notice that this wasn't a wind map, so a little low, but it was fine. So I realized what was happening and I start going solar. I also go vehicles because I wanted to do my new favorite strategy, which is the blitz rush. It's not really a rush because it's not like you're stalling your build at all. It's more like an opening. I also want to say that there is like positives and negatives to the front line having your commander at your base. Okay, this guy moved his commander out a little early, so he has no build production at home, or kind of low build production, but his commander can get ground. So in this game, he actually spends time building these when I was looking at the replay. But if you actually just rush your commander right here and start building turrets, I think you actually could succeed like really well, just because you get past the midline like way before the commander gets there. You sacrifice your build power though. See, at home I have my constructor turret going up. I have 100 tap power versus I have twice his power income, right? We both still have metal in the bank, right? It's about 30 difference, but we still have metal in the bank. So in my opinion, I think you should spend your bank before you move out. That way you have the most power on the field. But alternatively, if you want the ground, I think you can move your commander immediately past the midline. That might be, or like very early, that might be very good. Instead of spending time building these mexes, like you can have your engineers go out and get these, okay? But this midline and holding it, or like past the midline, that's really what's valuable. Normally, most people don't use a commander too well, which is why I know I can get away with spending my bank and then moving out. So I get to spend my bank and then move my commander as far up as possible. So I get to move it up here. But this is like something. So see, the engineer is going up where the commander is going down. Now, I do spend time building these because I guess I don't listen to my own words. Do as I say, not as I do. But yeah. I'm just sort of like playing it because, yeah, I'm not sure what to say actually. Maybe I should do my own principle and actually start just running it up as far as possible. But economic income, I'm greedy a little bit. I don't think he's gonna be there, so I just get to move it in. All right, at this point, I kind of see these, right, and I realize he's really spread out. Okay, this is one of the principles I talked about in like the second video, I think, where if you have a long line and they're very sparse, if you encounter forces like this and they go like that, half of them can't attack. So that's like a defeat in detail situation. You win the trade. Also, for this situation, I have just higher mass on the field because I spent my bank. This game, I was actually 1v2 holding the front line and slightly winning. But very tenuous, and I kind of just end up breaking at some point because it is 2 incomes versus 1. The hill gets in my way a little bit, so only this one grunt was not attacking, but it was still favorable for me because I had the mass advantage in the forces here. Okay, so I'm gonna switch to my player view. Look what I see though. I see a line here. I see a force here. This is the principle I talked about. There's a hole in their line, and if you just go in to exploit it, you can get a lot of damage. Okay? Remember in like my second video, if there are defensive lines, okay, you just bypass them, and you'll actually see that the opponents do the same thing to me, and it was actually a really good play and gets damage on me. Luckily, I was able to respond in time, but yeah, so I moved up. I see there's a commander, so now we go away, we go through the hole, we see power, we go this way. I do not micro these guys perfectly, but they do get damage. I think they get 4 mexes, and the red player forgets to build this one back. So that's like a lot of mass denied. So there's 2 mexes down already. I'm just gonna speed this up because I sort of missed micro. I should have ran this way, but I just missed micro. 2 mexes so far, I think. We get a little bit of mass here, 1 constructor turret, a little bit of mass there. A 3rd mex, right? 3rd mex. Or was it the 2nd? I think it was the 3rd, I forget. I wasn't counting. I forget to count. Okay, we get another one, another constructor, and another thing. So in terms of mass destroyed, with 6 blitzes, which is about 600, we deny like a whole lot, like probably 1,000 more, because this one doesn't get rebuilt. If I turn off the player view, he forgets to rebuild this. So that's a lot of mass denied and destroyed, just because we go through the hole here, right? We go through the hole, and then we micro, and we just get damage in. Okay, the problem is, when you do that, it really taxes your micro. So I'm sort of stretched between multiple places. I had to get my commander to the front line here. I had to build turrets. I have to get my soldiers to the front here, and then I have to micro my base. So I kind of slack on my base micro. I run out of power. I'm floating resources. In my opinion, you do not want to float resources, because if you float resources, that means you could have resource generators or soldiers on the field right now. And if you have it right now, that means you can have more later. So if you have, if 800, right? I could have 2 solar generators and 2 power converters right now, right? 2 advanced solars and 2 power generators, giving me 2 more mass income right now. And if I do that right now, instead of like 2 minutes later, that's how much mass? 2 by 120 is like 240 mass that I could just get for free if I use the build power right now. So I'm sort of mis-microing, because I had to micro up here, I had to micro the base, and I had to micro my commander to try to secure the ground. So notice how as this is happening, we have the commander coming up, right? So this is part of like my own strategy, is you have your run buys, right? At least for the opening, because I start with 10 blitzes, 4 artillery, and then 2 stouts. What happens is, when this is coming out, I'll have spot 4 to 6 blitzes, right? And then those 4 to 6 can do a run by, and then the next 4 to 6 come out to support the commander, and then the next 4 artillery come out to start pushing the line. So now we have what I wanted to like talk about, which is the combined arms warfare. Like, you need all the elements of the fact of your like army in coordination to push and to do it really effectively. So this play is making time for my units to stream in, because this guy is just he's just gonna sort of hold the line here, as he's a little bit scared because of what was happening up there. So that allows my stuff to get to the front line, and it's sort of like a 1-2 punch. Ideally, this sort of play would have hit the player that I was fighting, but I'm sort of like trying to assist the mid line here so that the mid line will win, and that way I don't have to worry about a flank. But you know, this is just like something. So I'm worried about my neighbor as much as I am myself, kind of. So yeah, the shell shockers, the artillery come in, start pushing for me, and my blitzes are sort of just as token defense in case they try to rush. So what I meant by like combined arms warfare is that your soldiers protect, like everything protects each other. Okay, the commander is its own like power source, but like you don't want to lose it because it's 2k metal. So you build turrets to protect the commander, but the turrets are weak to artillery. So you have soldiers to rush enemy artillery, and then you want to push. So you have artillery to push down their beamers or sentries or whatever, and then the soldiers are there to protect both the turrets and the artillery and the commander, so that they all start to protect each other, right? So the turrets are weak to artillery, so you get the soldiers, you get the artillery to fight the enemy artillery, and it's sort of like how you're able to push. See, this guy is missing artillery, also because he went bots. He has rocket bots. Just in my opinion, I'm saying this a lot, but I like to go vehicles when I can, because artillery are the best at these, what do you call this? Like these really close, sweaty line fights. The artillery is just the best because they have the most range. They also do very decent damage. The Rocketeers do not do great damage unless you have like 20 of them or 10 of them. Like you need a lot of them, and you need the enemy to not have what do you call them? Active forces that can rush them down. Okay, so they would have to approach like this up to this point to fight the beamers or the sentries. And if I have 10 blitzes and they just go like this, you know, they lose these guys, and these guys are pretty expensive. All right. Okay, so at this point, I'm like, okay, this ain't fun, Chief. Okay, I'm against 2 players. I see a huge army here. I'm dealing with this. There's a commander at the front, right? This guy's income is 18. This guy's income is 18. My income is only 19. Yeah, just 19. So literally twice the income I'm fighting. I have to make space for Winter Gaming. Yes, Winter Gaming, the famous Winter Gaming. He made a video. I talked about this earlier. He made a video about this, about how he ecos to win the game. So objectively speaking, looking at this from like a strategic point of view, it's on these guys. These guys are on a timer to punch through, because Winter is ecoing, but there is no ecoing on this side. They have to punch through, otherwise they lose, because Winter will clean them up basically. So their objective is to clean me up. My objective is to not let them clean me up. So this guy does exactly what I say to do in my like first video, is avoid areas of power. So I have power here, right? He literally runs through like this. He does exactly what you should do. I thought he was just gonna wrap around like this, but he actually starts running, and I started to panic. I had to get all my forces to come together, and you see how difficult it is for me, because I have to defend basically 3 points, whereas this guy is relying on his teammate to cover for him, so he doesn't have to defend as easily. So I can't counterattack at all. I have to deal with this. This means that if this player starts pushing here, I don't have my soldiers to defend this. So the combined arms is missing, right? So the beamers and the commander are now like vulnerable to this play. He does exactly what I say, which is run through the line, the hole in the line. There's a hole here, okay? I have to defend these points because my mexes are here. I want to push here, the midline here, and I need my base to obviously survive. So he literally runs through the hole that I like talked about, and it's like perfect, because now my army's missing, right? The Rocketeers get to go in. My commander is, I can't micro everything all at once, so my commander takes damage. And he gets good trades because my units have to stream in because they're all caught out of position. He also gets economic damage, but luckily I was able to respond in time, which is what lets me minimize the damage. So I only lose a solar panel and two windmills, which, you know, not the biggest loss. Yeah, and I don't even power stall, so you know, it was good. It could have been much worse if I didn't respond appropriately. See, I knew exactly what he was doing once he gets to about this position. So I have everything just run to the base. So during that time, look, I lost, I think, one or two, I lost 2 sentries at the front, right? I lost a little bit of ground because of this play, and I took economic damage. Like, that's exactly what you want to happen as the attacker. You want to just go in and bypass the attack line. I complain a lot, so I'm like, that wasn't fun. So I'm like, please help me. I helped you up here, sort of. He doesn't help me. It's just me 1v2ing. Okay, so yeah, the soldiers come back to protect the artillery. The artillery, when they get pressured by units, they can run back into the sentries, and the commander can build the sentries and repair them. Alright. Yeah, see, I keep them in like a clump next to the artillery, although I sort of miss micros sometimes. At this point, it is a little dicey for me because I don't have a lot of army. I want to shell with my artillery, but my commander is also really low, so I had my engineer come up to start repairing. Looking back, this game was like really messy for me because I wasn't able to get my production was really like not microed well here. I'm still floating resources. Yeah, puts me behind. I had to micro. I get the T2, I believe, from Winter Gaming here. Yeah, that's what's going on here. Yeah, it's very low powered most of this game. Yeah. This attack didn't go so well because after I saw the run by, I built another beamer here so that this place is at least an anchor. And I would be more conscious about this corridor, so I had my soldiers up north instead of down bottom. Yeah, microing is difficult, dude. Microing like 2 places, 3 places sometimes is a lot. And a commander, yeah. My commander could be reclaiming this, I just not noticing, because I'm trying to get my base in order, trying to micro the soldiers. Okay, now we're back to what I wanted to do. I used the fight command on the artillery to automatically attack at max range. Okay, finally back to the slow pushing. The commander's back to building. Power stalling because the base is not just micro. Okay, now what's going on? It really slowed down here for some reason. So what's going on? It's because Pink decides to go T2. Okay. That was all. I mean, as a timing, it's kind of okay, but you know, he kind of lost the midline. Look, I'm denying these mexes right here. That means I'm winning this area because I have my midline mexes right here. So I'm slightly winning, even though I'm 1v2. And then he decides to go T2, which kind of doesn't help, but I don't know. It could have paid off, but, you know, we had someone who was doing that the whole game. Okay. See how the bots kind of really struggle with artillery? It's because they don't have the range or the speed, usually. Oh, I forgot to mention that you do want to tech switch into stouts, because the T1s are good in the early game, but like for this middle game stuff, the medium tanks are much better. Yeah, I have them covering both sides as my artillery pushes up. Okay, this guy's response is okay. It's decent. He puts artillery down to stop me. I had a similar idea. Is I'm winning, right? I'm already winning. I want to solidify my gains with this artillery turret, right? And later on, I do make another mistake. So this run by, I saw the hole. I see there's this, and then they respond appropriately, which is they have army available to deal with it. See, if these guys were the only defenders, these guys would probably just run through because they're faster. But the grunts are there to add the DPS to cover. Although now they're losing top. I like to think that my early game plays helped this side win. Look, he still never rebuilt this. And he's struggling for mass. He's got 11. Like, that's a lot of mass income that could have been here. That's probably like, I don't know how many, well, that's a lot of time. There's like at least 5 minutes of no mexes. That's a lot. See, I could spend the soldiers there because Pink was letting go of the pressure a little bit. So I could have my turrets and my commander and the leftover reserves defend the artillery that pushes for me. Although now I've noticed that this is up and I sort of like fall back a little bit. But I want to try to get that because my thought process was if I take this out, right? And I'm able to get my leftover forces back, I can just sit pretty as this will defend for me, and I can just sit pretty and just eco, right? The problem is I underestimate the enemies, or I overestimate my ability to take down this thing. This thing actually has 3,000 HP, which is kind of a lot. Yeah, it's kind of a lot of HP. I didn't have enough forces, and they had army to defend, and they had turrets, so, you know, not a great choice by me. So, like, this next play that I do to try to take this out is a misplay. So, we see that there's actually relatively equal army sizes here. So, attacking is bad. I'm trying to take this out, but it doesn't go well. And if I, at this point, had just sat here and started ecoing, I think I would have continued to win this lane even more, but I make a misplay. This is, like, not good. See, not good, not good, not good. I use the fight command. I should have just, if I really wanted that, I should have just targeted it. They get a surround on me as well, so, you know, really not good. Spectre, okay. Yeah, really not good. Lose my army, don't take out their army, give them the mass field, don't take out this. Okay, just a really bad fight. My commander is out of position, gets taken out, loses all my reinforcements too. Yeah, just a really bad fight. So at this point, it's like, if Winter didn't come in here and start helping me out, I would have died. I would have lost all this. I would have lost this because he's got rocket bots. He can push this down. I don't have that much army. He comes in right at the time when I make a bad play. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. I can finally eco. I keep producing units for a little bit just to make sure that, you know, it's not terrible. Oh my god, I'm power stalling. Like, things are just... on my side, it's not good, but Winter's here, and he's able to clean things up for me and save me. Save my butt. Microing like a StarCraft player that he is. Yeah, I try to grab that. I'm floating mass this entire game. Yeah, it's just power stalling. I just didn't have enough build power at home. I was not able to micro both sides. I do send whatever I got to help with this push, just because I was thinking that this guy wouldn't be brave enough to push when there's T3 on the field. And that lets him get a punch through, but because I have this space created by Winter now, I'm able to tech up, get my eco, and get bulls or T2 tanks just in time to stop this push from dealing too much damage. Yeah, so we've bought enough time for now Winter to clean up because this guy didn't eco. It wasn't asymmetrical. It was like we had asymmetrical goals. Their side needed to punch through, but they didn't, so we win because we had the eco player. Yeah, I send my forces up just to support, try to punch through this hole. But like, there's a hole in their line, so you just flood it. Yeah, I was thinking like, oh, that would force their units up this way, and I could just sit pretty here. I have my turret. He's not gonna try anything, but he tries something. See, this is a decent response. Is that there's counter stuff happening. If there's stuff happening up there, you can either defend with them or you can counter push. So it was decent. It's just the eco is here from my team now, and we got the damage in. Yeah, he's attacking all over the map. Yeah, I see how pushing past the midline also gives you time. So this additional time space right here lets me realize I need to start making units. Space and time. Space and time, like, very key, important things in this game. Space and time lets him do this. Space and time lets me get the bulls out to stop this push from being too bad. And at this point, I'm T3 or T2. We're winning across the map. My eco player has been undamaged. I can regain this ground because I just destroyed their army. And the game's basically won. I mean, it was won when he hits the field, right? But that's it. I mean, that's like my frontline perspective, I guess. It's like you use your combined arms, you have your turrets with your commander right at the front line so that your soldiers can protect the artilleries. And this is a funny draw. Yeah, the soldiers can protect the artilleries. They can also protect the commander, right? You're not going to use them to attack sentries or turrets directly. Usually, you're going to have your artillery do that for you, and then you can win the artillery win. And the enemy doesn't have their forces because they run them into your turrets. You can send them into the hole and get more damage. That's sort of how I like to play. I think it's an effective strategy. I don't know if this is the best one, but you know, you can see what I was doing, I guess. Yeah, so that's like my perspective, I guess, of this game. That you can see the video by Winter here. But yeah, I decided I'm gonna use the clickbait. I'm gonna make a thumbnail, and I'm just gonna clickbait people into this video this time. All right, thanks for watching. I will probably just let this play out. I don't think it lasts for much longer. Everyone is folding. Yep. Yep, that's it. That's pretty much the game. Yeah, Frontline, make space. I don't know what else to say, I guess. Maybe you can learn something. Use your combined arms. Flood holes. You know, this is like another good example video of what you can do to try to frontline, try to make space and buy time. All right, thanks for watching. I'm gonna finally end this video now. All right, goodbye.